The fifth and the last method of measuring the measures of dispersion is called as the Lorenz curve. This Lorenz curve was actually studied and first used by a man called Max Lorenz. So hence this has been attributed to his name, and thus the curve has been called as the Lorenz curve. To construct this Lorenz curve, the method which we apply is, the first step is we convert the entire series into the cumulative frequency series. That is, supposing it is 0, 5, 10. So you are going to do 0 minus 5, 0 minus 10, and from 10 to 15 and 15 to 20 and so on. That is converting the series into the cumulative frequency series is the first step which is involved in making a Lorenz curve. After this, we calculate this, or we draw this on the curve that we have, that is the cumulative frequencies are calculated on the x-axis and the cumulative items are calculated on the y-axis, which means the graph which shall be shown shall be x and the y-axis, and indicating, calculating both the cumulative frequency and the cumulative items on the x-axis and the y-axis. Now, both these axes, whether x or y, shall be calculated from the range of 0 to 100. Both the ways, x-axis as well as the y-axis, are calculated from x to 100 range. And after that, we draw a diagonal line which joins from 0 to 100. This diagonal line which is joined is called as the equality line. Thus, what have you done? First of all, you have plotted it in the x-axis and the y-axis by the series that we have, and thus the diagonal line joining the 0 to 100, and thus called as the equality line. When you observe the Lorenz curve, you will easily come to know whether there is less variation or the greater variation in the series, because if there is a closeness in the line that we have, it shows that there is less variation. If it is larger, the variation that we have, that is the space that we have, it shows greater variation. Thus, the Lorenz curve is dealing with both the change of the cumulative frequency on the plotting of the graph by x and y from 0 to 100 by a diagonal line, which indicates whether it has less variation or the greater variation by the closeness and the largeness that we have on the graph. And this Lorenz curve is used to show the income, wealth, wages, profit, the production and the population of a country or the world as such. This was the last method of measuring the measures of dispersion called as the Lorenz curve. And now you all know that there are 5 methods of measuring the measures of dispersion, and also the first 4 methods that we have to have the relative measures of dispersion by the coefficient, and the coefficient, whether it is done in percentage or in some other relative term, is called as the coefficient of standard deviation, mean deviation, range and so on. That was all about your 6th chapter of statistics of class 11. Thank you.